What's happening, everyone? Max here. I'm a communication skills coach, and what I do on this channel is I look at all different types of people's communication skills and I give you my thoughts. So that's what we're gonna be doing today with Sebastian. I just checked him out for the first time in an interview with Kimi Räikkönen. It was a quick clip, so I want to check out some more, and let's get right into it. This is an old clip of him on Letterman. Young buck. Notice that he didn't sit until Letterman said, hey, take a seat. Little sign of respect there from our boy Sebastian.
Tell us a little bit about you. You're just a kid, right? How old are you, 24?
Correct.
Yeah. You
How old
started,
are you?
I'm 65.
Okay.
Don't get any ideas.
I like Sebastian off the bat here, showing his confidence and his wit.
Your upbringing, you're from Germany, where I guess Michael Schumacher, superhero, loomed large as an influence as a young boy, right?
Yeah, obviously. So I started as a little kid in
How old were you when you started racing?
Go-karts. 3.5, 4 years old.
See how calm Vettel is and how composed he was there? While he was finishing answering that question, Letterman asked him another question, but he didn't get rattled.
I started as a little kid in
How old were you when you started racing?
Go-karts. 3.5, 4 years.
But while he continued to answer and while he stopped, he was still maintaining eye contact with Letterman. So to me, that just shows his composure, and it shows to me that Vettel's really reading people. He's reading you, he's looking at you. He was definitely gauging Letterman's reaction, and in a way, I think showing Letterman that, like, hey, I'm looking at you and I'm not intimidated by you at all. I think that's a tell in his confidence, actually, right there.
That's 3.5, 4 years old.
3.5, and it was
Calm, composed, confident.
Yeah, my father did hill climb racing. I don't know if you know what
I know
that is.
about hill climbing, yeah.
Yeah.
In
So
motorcycles and cars, or just cars?
Cars.
Yeah.
Cars. So, yeah, he did that, and then the whole family was always traveling together, and yeah, it was basically a baby when he was already racing.
Right.
Then
And are you from the same part of Germany?
He definitely knows how to have a good conversation, definitely knows how to make other people feel heard.
Motorcycles and cars, or just cars?
Cars.
Yeah.
Cars.
He's a good listener. Every time Letterman says something, Sebastian's like right there focused in on him, listening to every word that he's saying and responding very accurately and appropriately. Their energy levels are different, right? Like Letterman's sort of high energy and he wants to keep the program moving and flowing, and Sebastian's just kind of doing his thing. You know, as quick-witted as he seems, as very aware and into the conversation as he may be, his energy is still calm.
Formula One generally is very technical, and we always try to build the cars as light as we can.
Right.
And batteries are usually quite heavy. If you look at all the battery cars you can buy,
Yes.
usually they are one, very expensive, and two, very heavy. So
Yeah, it's
the
always
batteries we
dependent on the
have-
battery. Now, with a curve system,
And he talks about his subject matter like such a credible source, but it doesn't feel like he's pushing it on you. He doesn't come across as a know-it-all. Like, I'm saying it in a way that's easy to understand and digest for the layman, for the everyday person who might not be into Formula One. I actually think that's another sign of a good communicator, is someone who's able to relay their message in a way that is simplified and easy to understand for the masses.
We always try to build the cars as light as we can.
right.
And batteries are usually quite heavy.
I think that's pretty cool in his style. It's what it seems like, at least.
Batteries are usually quite heavy. If you look at all the battery cars you can buy,
Yes.
usually they are one, very expensive, and two, very heavy. So
Yeah, it's
the
always
batteries we
dependent on the
have-
battery. Now,
When he's delivering his answers, he's also making a lot of eye contact with David Letterman. And I think, although he is calm and composed seeming, he's certainly charismatic in the sense that he's right there with you. He's present.
the crew members were getting electrocuted. The car would come in and they could, I mean,
we had-
but you get the bugs out of that, right? That didn't happen, but I'm right.
At least they have a big smile on their face.
That's right. But
Yeah, although like his hand seems to be in a little bit of an awkward position, ultimately he doesn't seem to be rattled at all by Letterman's questions or antics.
That's a big smile on their face.
that's right.
With Sebastian, he doesn't need to talk all the time. He's okay with listening, and when he's asked a question, he'll answer it, no problem. But Again, I think that's a sign of someone who's really confident and comfortable within themselves, is someone who doesn't need to fill up the space with words.
Basically, if you look at an open wheel car, we have the front wing and the rear wing.
Yeah.
And at the rear wing, we have this DRS system, drag reduction system.
That's right.
So we can...
You know, a lot of people would have just stopped at the acronym.
We have this DRS system.
But again, Sebastian, being the aware guy he is, it seems like, makes it a point to spell that out for the audience.
Drag reduction system.
That's right.
Someone who's a little bit more aware of who they're speaking to will do that. And that's something that we deal with a lot on a day-to-day basis. Something called the curse of knowledge is essentially we assume that our audience knows what we know. And it seems to me throughout this conversation that Sebastian's aware of that. And he doesn't fall into that curse of knowledge trap, speaking in his technical jargon, because he's a good communicator and he's aware.
I don't know how familiar you are with Formula One, but I know you're a big race fan, but it's very rare in Formula One that you see a passing.
So has this helped the passing ratio?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So
now,
obviously, if it becomes artificial, then it's not good.
Does it come on automatically? And you have to be within a certain distance of the car in
Now
front
you
of
make it really complicated.
Well,
People,
it's crazy, because all of a sudden, okay, they're in the...
See, it's interesting, like Sebastian's almost more aware of this being confusing to the audience than Letterman is.
Be within a certain distance of the car in
Now
front
you
of
make it really complicated.
Well,
People,
Letterman, I feel like in a way, is trying to show off his knowledge, but the funny thing is, they're getting into this more technical, heavy conversation, and like I said before, Sebastian's aware of his audience. Sebastian knows, hey, I'm on this talk show, I'm probably talking to a lot of people who aren't familiar with the sport here, and he's adapting.
Last night I flew in and I went through customs, and it's always a bit funny for us when we go through customs. They ask you these dodgy questions. What was the purpose of your visit in Canada? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I was here for the race. And the guy said, did you have a good seat?
I just watched Kimi Räikkönen, and that's a guy who doesn't really seem to give a shit at all what people think about him. Sebastian has a different approach. Not that he's necessarily like a people pleaser, really cares what people think about him, but I just generally think he likes people more. Like, he seems like a guy who enjoys hanging out with others and just knows how to make people feel comfortable. Seems to be a little bit more important to him in that sense.
But you're racing in Austin. I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Why Austin? Why not Indianapolis? You don't know. You don't care. Yeah, it's not you. You're two-time world champion.
No, I do care. To be honest, I think we have a world championship.
Letterman's like, you don't care. Like, Letterman's sort of answering for him there.
You don't care. Yeah, it's not you.
Vettel will let Letterman get away with his, with his shtick and whatever. But when it has to do with him, speaking on behalf of Sebastian, that's when Sebastian says, no. Let me clear up my name here. I'm going to step in, right?
You don't care. Yeah, it's not you.
You don't care.
Well,
no.
I do care. To be honest, I think we have a world championship, and we have
stands up for himself, right?
And we have no race in the
United States.
So.
Where should now? Let me ask you this.
He's very patient, right? Because it does seem like Letterman cuts him off quite a bit. I think I'm sensing Sebastian is getting just a little bit annoyed, a little bit frustrated.
No race in the
United States.
So.
Where should now? Let me ask you this.
That's what I'm sensing.
A TV guy. Where would that one American championship race be? Where should it be? Just as a guy. Where should they put that?
Maybe in Indianapolis.
Maybe in Indianapolis. Yeah. Maybe in Indianapolis.
Yeah, man. Sebastian's just so socially in tune. Definitely seems like a guy people want to be around.
Champion Sebastian Vettel. Have a great time. Nice meeting you. Love your ride back with Black Box.
Yeah, man. He's light too, right? He can laugh, he can joke around. That said, he can kind of switch into serious mode at times when he's talking about his craft and he's talking about his sport. He's got a lot of charisma. It's not a loud charisma. It's a little bit more, it seems like, of a calm, composed charisma. And yeah, overall, I'd say he's an excellent communicator, and I really enjoyed watching this older interview with him. If you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis, you can. All you need to do is go to my Patreon page. I've included all my other F1 reactions there as well, uncut. Other than that, my name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.